Hello, good morning, students. Students, let's start reading the next part of this chapter, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. Please keep yourself fully attentive while watching this video and getting explanation from my side. Every family has a crazy streak. The word streak stands for a kind of characteristic. Distinctive characteristic, unmatched quality. Every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere. Up to here. So through this short statement, the narrator wants to make it clear that one can find the distinctive characteristic, one can find such kind of quality of acting just like a madman somewhere means in some generations of the same family, in any one of the persons, in any one of the people of its family. But he wants to say that each and every family has such kind of distinctive characteristic of being crazy somewhere in its past and present generation. And my cousin Murad was also my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe, and the people of the narrator's tribe also considered it that it was cousin who was really a natural successor, heir, descendant of the same characteristic he had adopted, that the quality, unmatched quality, distinctive quality from some of his ancestors. Before him was our uncle Khosrow. Before the birth of Murad, in the narrator's tribe, in the narrator's Garo-Galenian family, it was his uncle Khosrow who had already been considered, who had already been called a crazy man due to his abnormal nature and behavior. Before him was our uncle Khosrow. Before the birth of Murad, it was the narrator's uncle Khosrow who had also acted just like a madman, and who not had also, but who was also working just like a madman, who was really man of abnormal nature, uncommon nature, and an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair. That the person Khosrow was really a very large bodied man. Enormous stands for here something very large in size. So large bodied man with a powerful head, of black hair. The color of his hair was quite black. The size of his head was very big, and it was really very powerful head, and the largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley. And he had also grown his mustache on his face in the shape of a valley, which is generally seen in California, a valley. A man so furious means and the largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley. San Joaquin Valley refers to here a kind of valley, one of the interior valleys in California. So just like in the shape of that valley, he had also grown his mustache in the largest form. A man so furious. Now the characteristics of Khosrow Bete are being described here by the narrator. A man so furious. Khosrow really looked so furious, so aggressive in his nature, in temper, so irritable. He also was a man of irritable nature. He got irritated very shortly, very easily, so impatient. He also lost his temper. He also became so much angry at the little matters that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. So whenever somebody talked to him or whenever somebody had a conversation with him, he stopped the same person better by shouting loudly, by making a funny remark, by shouting loudly with a funny remark, with a funny remark. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. He generally made this the funny remark, okay, which was also so uncommon, and which could also hurt the feelings of others. It's no harm, pay no attention to it. It means nothing had gone wrong. He or she need not pay any attention to the same incident, the same thing. That was all. No matter what anybody happened to be talking about, beta, that was all. No matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Okay, through this statement, the narrator tells us that it could be applied, that the statement could be applied only to the other persons, and they could got agreed it, and they could also take it in some sensible way. That was all. No matter what anybody happened to be talking about. It means it was not the matter of so much worrying regarding that the statement, because nobody happened to be talking about the same funny remark, and each and every person took it casually, lightly. Once it was his own son Ark running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed, to tell him their house was on fire. But on some day, it was the son of Khosrow who went to his father running fast in order to tell him that their house had caught fire. And at that time his father Khosrow was at some barber shop, and he was having his longest mustache trimmed. The word trimmed stands for here, cut the upper part of the hair, means cut short but not fully short. And we may also get some other meaning, get the mustache adjusted in the sizable form. मतलब कुतरवाना बोलते हैं जैसे कि ना हिंदी में. This man Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared. When Khosrow heard the voice of his son Ark, and when he came to know that his son Ark had told him that their house had caught fire, so he, instead of going with the child to their house, started shouting very loudly. Hastily he got up. Okay, in the chair. He got up in the chair. The word in stands for it because the chair had 1 or 2 arms. So when a chair has 1 or 2 arms, we use the preposition in. And if the chair doesn't have any arms, so we use the preposition on. And roared, and he also shouted very angrily. It's no harm, pay no attention to it. Okay, he made the same statement, and he told his son that nothing wrong had happened to them, and he need not pay any attention to the incident. The barber said that the barber also tried his best to explain the same matter to the person Khosrow, but the boy says, your house is on fire. The barber told Khosrow that his son had already told him that their house had caught the fire and it was not a very simple incident. So Khosrow roared, "Enough, it's no harm, I say." Oh, getting the words from barber, the person Khosrow really got so much angry, he lost his patience and he shouted at the barber, saying that he should not interfere and he should not take it as a very serious incident as nothing had gone wrong. That's why he did not care for it. He did not care for it, and he made him remain silent. My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Jorab. It was also considered by the people of the narrator's family that Murad had got such kind of abnormal nature and behavior, and he had really become so crazy, getting some hereditary traits from his uncle Khosrow. Although Murad's father was Jorab, though the name of Murad's father was Jorab, who was practically nothing else, and Jorab was really a very practical man, and he did not do such kind of works on his part. Beta, take care of the words take my words very sincerely. My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Jorab, who was practically nothing else. Through this statement, the narrator tells us that it was his cousin Murad who was considered by each and every person as the natural successor of Khosrow. People thought that Murad had got such kind of hereditary traits from Khosrow, though the name of his father was Jorab, who was really practical and sensible man. That's how it was in our tribe. So it could also happen in such kind of tribe, and the narrator accepts it on his part that such kinds of things could be seen in their tribe very easily. A man could be the father of his son's flesh. It was natural that a man could become the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. But it did not mean that the father could also become the father of his son's nature and behavior. No, it was not in his hands. The distribution of the various kinds of spirit, it means there had been different kinds of feelings in the nature and behavior of the people of their tribe. Of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. The word capricious and vagrant stands for changeable. So he wants to tell us that there had been so many changes in the nature and behavior of the people of their tribe right from the beginning of the establishment of their tribe, since their tribe got its origin in the world, and since their tribe got its existence in the world. So right from the very beginning, their tribe had been had right from the beginning in their tribe there had been so many people who had really so many changeable feelings, nature and behavior on their parts. ये कहना ये चाहता है बेटा, देखो कुछ सेंटेंस है तो समझाने पड़ेंगे हिंदी में. द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द वेरियस काइंड्स ऑफ स्पिरिट ऑफ आवर ट्राइब, हमारे कबीले जाति के लोगों का इस प्रकार से जो विभिन्न प्रकार की भावनाओं का जो वितरण रहा है, बंटवारा रहा है, वो कहता है कि शुरू से ही काफ़ी परिवर्तनशील रहा है. द सेकेंड मीनिंग ऑफ दिस टू वर्ड्स कैन बी गिवन एज अनप्रडिक्टेबल. कहता है कि इसके बारे में हमारे कबीले जाति में जो लोग रहते हैं, उस कबीले जाति के लोगों के बारे में कहना कुछ भी संभव नहीं है, बड़ा मुश्किल है. कोई भी परिकल्पना नहीं की जा सकती है कि कौन बच्चा किस व्यक्ति के गुण लेकर के और परिवार में पैदा हो जाए. ओके, let's proceed to the next passage better. We rode and my cousin Murad saying, it was the time when they Both started riding the horse quite cheerfully, and when the horse was running so fast and they were enjoying their ride on the horse, at the same time Murad, the narrator's cousin, okay, also started singing so wildly. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country where, at least according to some of our neighbors, we belonged. After a while or so, they had already entered such a part of the countryside area where they had already lived, where their family had already spent some years there in that area, because it could be proved by some of the narrator's neighbors also, and they could easily prove it that they belonged to that area. Through this statement, the narrator wants to prove it that they had already entered, they had already taken the horse in to that area, to that to that place, to that area which had always been the part of their inhabitants, and they had already lived there for some years, and it could be proved by their neighbors, because their neighbors could easily tell a person that the narrator's family had already lived there in that countryside area. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. Beta, after these two verbs, when these two verbs are put together, we use the gerundial form after this verb feel like. Okay, we let means permitted. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. So they both allowed the horse to run as fast as it could run. At last my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." When they had already enjoyed the horse riding for a long time, his cousin Murad told him to get down the horse, since he wanted to ride the horse alone. "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. At the same time, the narrator also asked his cousin Murad whether he would like to give him permission to ride the horse quite alone. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." At that point, his cousin Murad told the narrator that he should ask the horse whether it would allow him to ride on it quite alone or not, because he could say him nothing, but he told him that he should get down the horse at the same time. "The horse will let me ride," I said. The narrator told the author with much confidence that he need not get worried, and the horse would surely let him ride. And the horse would surely allow him to enjoy a ride on it without any objection. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." The speaker of the statement is Murad. Murad told Aram that they would like to wait for some time. The time would tell them each and everything, whether he would be able to ride the horse quite alone or not. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." And he also told his cousin Aram, the narrator, that he should not forget it, that he had a good understanding. He had a good understanding with a horse. He had a good understanding with a horse. He knew it very well. How to control, how to manage, how to ride a horse. Well, I said, anyway, you have with a horse, I have also. Beta. So when the narrator got it all from his cousin Murad, so he also wanted to tell him something about his such kind of quality, and he told his cousin Murad that he should not forget it also, that he had also got a good understanding with a horse. Well, I said, anyway, you have with a horse, I have also. Through this statement, the narrator wanted to tell his cousin Murad that if he had already got a good understanding with a horse, so he had also got. He was not less than him in any case, in such kind of matter. "For the sake of your safety," he said, "let's hope so. Get down." Again, Murad told the narrator that he had already thought of his safety, and he did not want to see him any kind of difficulty. That's why, for the sake of his safety, Okay, they would like to hope so that if he did not take the chance to ride the horse alone, otherwise he would have to he would have to okay express his repentance over the same matter. Get down. He again told the narrator to get down the horse, to come down to the ground. All right, I said, but remember you have got stands for beta promised. All right, I said. The narrator got agreed and he accepted the words of his cousin Murad, and but he reminded him of one thing, saying it that he had already promised him to allow him to ride the horse quite alone. I got down and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted Wazir run. Okay, when the narrator had got down the horse, his cousin Murad took his command and he kicked the horse into his muscles and shouted Wazire run, and he called the name of the horse Wazire and asked him to run fast. At that time he shouted the name of the horse Wazire, Wazire, and then he told the horse to run fast. The horse stood on its hind legs. Hind legs mean rear legs, back legs. So hearing such words from Murad, the horse stood quite straight on its rear legs, as you can see in the picture, snorted, and it also started snorting. It is the kind of the horse which a horse makes. Okay, and the horse made such kind of uh, sound of snorting. It snorted and burst into a fury of speed, and after snorting the horse started running at a very high speed. That was the loveliest thing I had ever seen, and the narrator had never caught such a very beautiful lovely sight of running the horse before in his life, and it was the first day when he had caught such kind of beautiful sight which pleased his heart very much, and which also comforted his feelings very much. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass. So his cousin Murad, at that time while riding the horse, his cousin Murad had also taken the horse to a field which was packed with, or which was covered with dry grass, to an irrigation ditch. Then he took the horse to the area where the people had already irrigated the fields and crossed the ditch on the horse, and while sitting on the horse, Murad also made the horse cross the deep pits known as ditch. Deep pits, hollow pitch, ditch खाई को कहते हैं. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. And soon after the short period of 5 minutes, his cousin Murad came back to the narrator, with the horse, and at that time the body of the horse, had been fully wet with the heavy perspiration, and the drops of the perspiration were also dripping from the body of the horse. 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. वो पसीने से घोड़ा जो है ना काफ़ी लथपथ हो गया था, और घोड़े की 5 मिनट के बाद में इतने सारे पसीने आ गए थे कि वह बहुत ज़्यादा इस प्रकार से पसीने से लथपथ होकर के और वो घोड़ा वहाँ पर वापस लौटा था. If we take it in context of Murad, so I think the Murad would not have been so much wet due to the heavy perspiration, because Murad had not run fast and the horse had really run fast. The sun was coming up. At that time the sun was also coming up. The sun was rising high in the sky. सूर्य उस वक्त ऊपर उठता जा रहा था. Now it's my turn to ride, I said. The narrator reminded his cousin Murad of the same promise, and he told him that it was his turn to ride the horse alone. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Since Murad wanted to fulfill his wanted to wanted to keep his promise, and following the following his said words, he got down the horse, and he asked his cousin Aram to ride the horse quite alone. Ride, he said. Murad told cousin that he should ride, and he should not wait for any other thing. But up to here we have read the chapter up to the last word. Here the word he said, and tomorrow we would like to extend some more part of this chapter, and in the next two lectures it would be completed. Thank you, beta.